wanna do a podcast? We make a darn good team. It always goes without a hitch. Let's head to Twitch and go start up the stream. Do you wanna do a podcast? It's the Nerd Glasses Podcast. Let's start now. Hi everyone and welcome to the Nerd Glasses Podcast. Come?
Alright, I'll do my own bits myself.
Oh wait, no silence.
We're doing it. Get off the road.
Hey Dave.
Hey Boater.
So I know we're going to talk about it later, but I got really excited about something that was shown at the Game Awards last week. I don't know if you noticed it while you were watching, but one of the games announced is a MMORPG created by Nissan. It's called Ultima Online. And Ultima is a kind of Nissan. It's a sedan. Hello everyone, and welcome to the Solo Nerd Glasses Podcast. I'm Boater. Hey, I kind of like being centered in the set.
I know, center of the sets. It's the problem is there's just too much for the two of us. Just the two of us. We can wiggle around.
Just the two of us. Dave, are you gonna get your seat set right? Are you just gonna fiddle with it the entire stream? You're just beep.
Yeah, the entire stream. That's the duration of the program today. I'm going to be playing with the height of my chair to try to get eye level right at Boater's shoulder.
I have a taller torso. Set yours all the way up. I will adjust to match. Okay. Anyway, how's everyone out there? I hope everyone's doing well. It's only been 7 days since we saw each other, which is a damn sight better than the last time that that we were on.
Never again. Never again. But you know what, Boater? I kind of... Steve might shoot us for this. He might.
Okay, then we'll say it really quietly, but still loud
Okay.
enough for the mics to pick up.
So Steve might kill me for this, or Dan.
Okay.
But, folks, if you haven't yet followed here on Insane Games TV, and you don't tune in for Tuesdays, you better start, because things are a-coming. Things are a-changing. And I'm just going to tell you, it's a party, and you're welcome.
There are plans afoot.
There's magic happening for the Tuesday night programs, and we absolutely implore you to make sure to keep it tuned in, to ring that bell so you get notified every time we go live. And don't be sour grapes about it if you miss it, okay?
Anyway, more on that will be coming soon. Or will it? We can neither confirm nor deny.
Boo!
But what we can talk about, Dave, is a Twitch ban.
Ooh.
Now, this one involves some vocabulary that normally I would be fine using, but has been very temperamental in attracting bans. So we are going to use alternative vocabulary. Dave, what's in here?
Cheez-Its.
What is a generic name for what is in there and not a brand name?
Toasteds!
Dave, what is...
Baked snack crackers.
Okay. In place of that last word, I am going to use the word Cheez-It while reporting on this story so that we don't get banned. And again, I am reporting. Don't think I'm trying to get around this. Twitch and anyone with a trigger finger on there. Hassan Piker was banned on Twitch for using the word Cheez-It, which, as we all know, is actually that last one there.
So far, I'm following. So far.
Okay. Actually, some of his mods were banned first for using it in chat during a stream. And then he said, I've been called Cheez-It more time than every single one of you effing pasty little Cheez-It bitches in my chat, okay? And so, of course, he got a ban, too, for saying Cheez-It, except not Cheez-It. And, of course, there's now been massive discourse around Twitch communities and Twitter and everything as to, is Cheez-It a slur that deserves a ban? Is it a slur? Yes, no. Is it on par with other slurs that are attracting bans? Yes, no.
No, but okay.
Right? Like, hey, Cheez-It, pass the sun chips. Not till we get to the picnic, Cheez-It. Referencing a bit by Mike Birbiglia that says, oh no, I am white. I can say ER. If you're referring to me, it just needs to end with an A. Like, you can't say that word, it's like, oh, it's okay if I end it with an A and not an ER. Cracka. He has a really good bit about it, but again, ask me later. It's good stuff. Anyway, yeah.
So the person got banned.
So the person got banned because, like, is it a slur? Probably. Is it at all on the level as anything else that's attracting bans? Absolutely not. But it's one of these, like, Twitch applying their policy in such a way that is, even but not equitable. I guess it's
nonsensibly applying the
yeah.
it just doesn't make sense.
Yeah, there's a lot. It's the kind of thing that, like, and then again, even other channels that are talking about it and discussing it are then getting banned, which is why I wanted to use a synonym, and why I think we're done talking about it now. Would you like a Cheez-It?
I really would, but I'm not. I'd have to walk off camera to eat them. So
Okay, that's fair.
tempt me not, sir, with
All right.
fair snacks.
Go get him! Hey, fetch!
Well, okay.
So yeah, that's something that happened on Twitch the last 7 days. It's starting to get to the point where there's some weeks, and I was saying this, there's some weeks where it's like, I don't know if I'm gonna find a ban. It's gonna be small fry stuff. It's gonna be the usual, someone forgetting about DMCA, and then I open up a news site and I'm like, okay, I've got a story for this week.
I posted in the Discord down below, but I have a very similar experience where I was taking notes on a story last night, and then I realized, I was like, and I looked through other notebooks, and I was like, man, we have first of all already discussed this, and the news that I would have brought back with it, I was like, it's unsubstantiated by other media outlets and things like that. So I'm like, this is purely speculative stuff, and that's fun to do. Don't get me wrong, but for me to rehash a very old story for us with something of like, ooh, maybe, perhaps, sometime, possibly, maybe.
That kind of stuff is fine if we start talking about it, but when, like, because we talk a lot of opinion on here as well as news, but if we just start like, hey, this other news outlet put out an opinion piece and a rumor piece that they're the only source of, then it feels very odd.
Well, because we're just echoing an I statement, an I feel or I think statement that doesn't have anything behind it without us necessarily having an opinion on it. Like,
yeah, exactly. If we bring it in to support some other thing that we're talking about and say, oh, I kind of heard this as a tangent. Yes, I've done that before, where I'm like, that's not worth talking about it, but then it comes up in conversation.
Yeah.
Great. We're kind of having this conversation because in addition to maybe not new things, we're talking a little bit about the format of Nerd Glasses in general. Nothing big is going to change, but we're having talks about, like, hey, how much do we focus on this versus that, whatever. And if you want to be part of that discussion, make sure that you join us in the Discord below.
And we want you to join us. We would love any input you have and things like that. It's why we're doing it live on Twitch. Because Boder and I can pre-record hours and months and years of stuff, but we want to be able to have your input on day of and as of recording and doing these things, because that's what makes it fun.
Yeah, and we want it to be something that you guys are happy to be a part of our family, our viewership, our community. And if we change to something that you guys don't like, then, we want to know that that's
what
the
Boder's
case.
getting around to is that we're going to be selling some Nerd Glasses merch, and more specifically spectacles, and you should buy them.
David, I was so afraid you were going to say NFT.
Why would we sell NFTs? No. We're going to sell the Nerd Vision glasses.
No, 100%. If you are a brand out there that sells, like, computer glasses or something like that, work with us. I would love that. I've been daily driving the same pair of Gunners for 5 years.
Gunner, if you're not too afraid to be represented by the Dave Man and the Boder Bug. Cowards, a buck, buck, buck.
You know who else sells blue light glasses? Ritual Motion. Ritualmotion.com/shop. Use code BOATER at checkout. Get 10% off, and maybe we'll talk about them.
So we
about
should
doing
get
more.
Ritual Motion /nerd glasses glasses/nerd vision trademark.
Oh boy, hey Dave.
Yes,
that's
Boater.
That's a bunch of stuff. That's stuff that's happened in the last 7 days. That's us talking about
Yeah.
stuff going forward. What games are coming out in the next week?
So, if you don't know, you've got exactly weeks until big holiday, December 25th, when, if you're not aware, a lot of stores are closed. A lot of people are staying home. Not everybody and not every store, but Mariah Carey's music will play a little less. Paul McCartney Simply Having a Wonderful Christmas Time will also play a little bit less. But that one other one, the Wham song, will play just the same amount. You're all on notice.
I assume you've heard it so far.
I have not.
Same.
That's literally the only one that I have not heard. I got
I'm so glad.
excited.
Like, at work, we were listening to a Sinatra station, and now we're listening to like kind of like jazzy stations. So we're getting like oldies Christmas stuff. Some of it jazz, some of it like lounge, some of it just like
Yes.
Santa Baby, whatever. But like stuff from 50s and before. So it's too old for Wham to hit me. So
McCartney's song is a banger. You know what, Boater? Next week, I'm gonna propose this to you on air, like all classy segments are.
yeah.
Should we adjust some Christmas songs to Nerd Glasses, Insane Games TV, and our own in jokes
Possibly.
and things?
We'll see.
Because I got like 6 ideas and I can roll stuff off the top of my head. But next week on Nerd Glasses,
As
sing
long as
along.
I can bring back the phrase "crate of popcorn chicken," then yes.
That's exactly what we should do. Simply having a crate of popcorn chicken. Again, just give me it and I'll run with it. In fact, you know what? We'll make it a Mad Libs thing. You'll need to give us like themes and a Christmas tune, and we'll make it fit in there. Okay? We'll add it.
It can't
in
be
the...
any worse than when I made fan fiction out of the Kojima names.
What we'll do is we'll have you guys do some input down below in the Discord under the Hat Trick topics. The topic is going to be a Christmas song you want us to do a little bit of a lampoon on, and a topic you want us to lampoon it on. So, for example, we'll talk about.
What else can I help you with?
Yeah.
It writes itself. Scrooge McDick himself. I mean, so we'll do that next week. If Boater is okay with it.
Yeah. We'll figure something out.
Because I'm pretty sure that's. Or do we have 2 episodes till? Nope, because that next week's episode.
Yeah, next week
and
is
then
the last one before
December 25th. Oh well, then Twitch adding a hammer for saying a bop.
probably the all caps bop is what did it. Yeah.
I'm really excited though, because in the next 7 days there's a bunch of things coming out. But to be totally honest, if you watch the Weekend Wednesday, you'll see in the preview, Scott Cawthon donated $500 to mine and Boater's first team effort to St. Jude's Play Live, which was amazing.
Yeah.
Now, the person himself is an enormous asswipe, and they deserve nothing, so take that, Scott Cawthon. But the Five Nights at Freddy's IP continues and is having a lot of fun.
Yep.
And this Thursday, because of course it couldn't come out on a Wednesday, this Thursday, the 16th, Five Nights at Freddy's Security Breach comes out. And I'm going to show the trailer for it, and we're going to chat a little bit about it.
Nerd Vision.
But, Oh,
no, hold on.
Oh!
Nerd Vision.
Oh! Hang on, I full canned it back. All right, ready? So we're about to enter Nerd Vision.
Except that it's this way, so that's why I made sure to point this way.
We're doing a Ginyu Force thing.
I'm just gonna spirit fingers the video the whole time.
Are you? You really are? Oh my god, that's hysterical. But this one this year is a little bit different because it's not a Freddy Fazbear's Pizza.
Okay.
It's actually, dun dun dun, a mall! And your character is stuck inside of the mall for, stop me if you've heard this before, a duration of 24 hours. Dun dun dun! And you have to
Dave,
try
as
to...
someone who is, as people who are in this mall when the hour of midnight hits on a weekly basis, I don't know if I like this.
I like this a lot, and I definitely want to play it on stream because it'll fit. It'll fit so well, and then every other... Ah! I don't
Dave,
like it!
You know what it needs? You know what our channel needs? Is a stream channel points redemption to play the carousel sound.
Mm-mm.
So
Nope.
that while you're playing in the middle of the mall...
Oh, God. No, thank you.
Yes, please.
But, you know what? This looks like more of an action-adventure than it does the typical ones because
Yeah.
you have weapons and you have the ability to hide and do these things and seemingly, like, mess up some of the animatrons. But, you know, damn it all, if this game doesn't look awesome, yeah.
Yeah, it's the original Five Nights at Freddy's was a very constrained kind of game design, became iconic. This looks like taking the IP and bringing it into what I'm gonna say is more generic, but I think probably still gonna be a lot of fun.
This, you know what I will say? It'll probably be more accessible. Oh, God.
I could see that.
Oh, God. That last tease there. It is coming out this Thursday for PlayStation 5, PlayStation 4, and PC. Ladies and gentlemen, he lines up on the side of the Dream Team. He is one of the masters of the tray ball, Mr. Wet himself. Welcome to the stream. Forgive my ignorance, but have the Fazbear Gang always been a band? Yes, they have.
Oh, okay.
The animatronics have always been a sort of band-like and things. We have a lot more trailers, but we're going to save that for when we're talking about the Game Awards.
Yeah.
Because, ooh!
So that's one that's coming out the next 7 days. We have more trailers and stuff to show for stuff that was announced, that was talked about during Game Awards, and we'll get to those. We will be back to Nerd Vision. Don't you worry.
Trademark.
Trademark.
Sorry.
Before we get to the Game Awards, though, Dave, what have you been doing in the past week? Like, what have you been watching? What have you been playing? etc.?
Well,
What's in your metaphorical disc tray?
Phasmophobia had an update, and like every other single Phasmophobia update, it made the game harder, more playable, and more fun. So
Nice.
I've been playing that with a bunch of my friends, and I've been really enjoying it. Love Alex Sustaina, League at Reaper,
Very cool.
and things like that. And damn, that game is scarier, and it's got so much bigger. They have a Santa ghost now. And like it'll start hunting, and you just hear like jingle, 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 thud, 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 thud. It's terrifying. The good news is
Why? No!
it doesn't say ho ho ho, because I would love it if it did the Futurama ho ho John Goodman. That would make it absolutely pants shitting. But that
Still, to just have like off-tune jingle jangles.
yes. And then the other thing I've been really stuck on, I cannot lie. Weekend Wednesday, we decided last week that I was gonna beg Dan for a
right.
copy of Deathloop, and Dan said no, and then Mike said yeah. No, I'm just kidding. Dan, of course, got a copy, and rightfully so. But I got Deathloop. Played it for 3 hours. Couldn't stop thinking about it. Couldn't stop thinking about it. Streamed it more.
Yep.
And I'm going to be streaming that more because, oh my god, that game is good. Oh my god, that game is
That's
good.
awesome.
Oh my god, Deathloop is so much fun. What we'll talk
Now
about.
we understand why I had when we were talking about nominations for the Game Awards. Did we write down our predictions for the? But now we know why it got like
we're
sextuple
too
nominated.
yeah we're two nerds with pens and markers. Of course, we didn't write anything down last week.
Of course not.
You go to the Dream Team and future programming for stats and coordination. You come to us because we go and then continue talking like we didn't just do that. Like
It's true. So I've been playing. I'm still doing Mass Effect 2, but I'm doing it on a bigger screen. We
Nice.
got a new 4K TV upstairs, a 70-inch replacing our 55, which means that the 55 came downstairs to where the Xbox is, where there was a 40. So I've been playing on the 55. Meanwhile, Steph has been playing Mass Effect in 4K upstairs where the PlayStation is. And I'm
Oh
a little
god.
jealous.
Oh god. I j- all I can think about now is over the years the amount of things we've all gamed on.
Oh
Like,
yeah, like
like
I had like a 7-inch CRT TV with a DVD player built into it that I played Mass Effect on because it was the easiest way for me to record gameplay to do a machinima. No, not Mass Effect, Mirror's Edge, the other game with the ME abbreviation. Which is much better because there's no HUD to speak of in that game, but still, oh god. You guys
Demon
are
Dragon.
life size on my TV right now. Hold on, I can make it better. Hello! That wasn't better, Boner!
That was terrifying. That was absolutely terrifying. Um Should we
I
should you
scared
know what?
the dogs, I'm sure.
I think hang on, hang on. Let's bring it in. Let's bring it in. Let's bring it over. Let's bring it in.
Okay.
Let's do the game. All right, team. We're having a good podcast so far, but we need your help. If you could hit that follow button, make sure to interact down below. Make sure you chat. We'd love to hear from you.
Join that Discord.
Yeah.
Keep the conversation going even when we're not on the air.
Yeah. But most of all, uh, very nice
Love
deodorant powder, by the way. Where was this goes?
It's Axe.
It's not Axe. Don't tell me it's Axe, because bro, Dave. But good work out there. You're doing good. Doing good.
Good job, team.
We're gonna have to like. I'll keep working that in. Hashtag Steve.
So aside from that, like we said, we got bigger TV. So I was like, I got Lord of the Rings trilogy on a 4K HDR Blu-ray. Turns out I don't have any machines that'll play that. The PS4 Pro does not. The original Xbox One does not.
The PS4 Pro plays 4K.
Not the 4K Blu-rays, not the 4K HDR Blu-rays.
Oh, HDR 4K.
Yeah.
Okay. Yep. Nope. That was technology that was after the.
Yep. So it's eventually it was like, all right, well, I'll go to Netflix and I'll pay the extra $4 a month to do 4K through that, and we'll start rewatching season 1 of The Witcher in 4K because season 2 comes out pretty soon.
It does, and we deserve it.
And that was great to see that. And we got to get to Expanse because that started coming out, and then we finished the live-action Cowboy Bebop, which, man, have I got some opinions on that. And so did a lot of people, because as we were watching the final episode on Thursday night, I was also browsing my phone and saw that it was announced that it had been canceled and would not be renewed for a second season.
It's so. When did you see that it was officially canceled?
It was like I said, it was Thursday night.
Okay.
While I was in the middle of episode 10 of 10 of the series.
Okay. When did Steve message us that it was canceled in the chat?
10 minutes later.
Okay. It's very funny because I'm pretty sure all three of us saw that it was canceled within a half hour of each other.
Yeah.
And Steve was the only one that actually like sent it to everybody to send. So much love, Steve. But I had to ask. So did you enjoy the 10 episodes?
I
Or
did.
would you let me ask you in this auspice. The 10 episodes that you watched, would you rather have spent the 10 episodes time doing something else?
Um,
Just at base value, like
I don't think so. I don't know if I'm going to rewatch it anytime soon, but I'm happy that I watched it. It was at its best when it wasn't trying to be the anime. It was
Okay.
at its best when it was doing its own thing, and it did a lot of that. It took the scaffolding of the original series, of the characters and the setting and some of the basic premise and the villains of each episode, the bounties of each episode. It took that and told a whole new story around it. it uses different themes. Like the anime, it could be argued, has a theme of loneliness. Whereas this goes for a little bit more kind of found family and flawed humanity, which found family is a very common theme to tell at this point, but it does so very well. And how much you enjoy the series depends entirely on how much you enjoy it doing new things with old stuff. When it tries to be too much like the anime, the first episode does a lot of like very odd editing, very kind of odd tempo that was
Yeah.
inherent to how anime is done, and it
Yes.
suffered for it. The last 30 seconds of episode 10, that I will not spoil, do something very, very, very anime, very, very Cowboy Bebop anime type stuff, and I hated it, and it was an awful note to go out on. Like, I was so
Oh.
disappointed at the end of the series that I'm like, we were waiting for this. We were looking forward to this, and I do not like how they did it. It was not a strength there. So I think I'm of the same mind of it that I am on the game Too Human. It is flawed, but it found what it was doing, and I wish that it had another season to keep doing it.
But it won't.
Hey Amazon, The Expanse is ending. Do you want another sci-fi to fill that space? Hashtag save the Bebop.
No, if we're bringing back something that's definitely canceled, Firefly, please.
It had its time. Everyone involved with Firefly is like it's
Don't care.
past time.
Don't care. Gonna keep crying about it.
You are the worst kind of fan.
Oh yes. Oh,
Anyway,
yes. Listen, man, I got my Star Wars films 20 years too late. Why can't I have my Firefly 15 years?
Demon Dragon saying, yeah, the ending made me sad. We were very just like,
My Apple Watch for some reason pulled Listen, man, I got my Star Wars film 20 years too late. Why can't I have my Firefly 15 years? Here's what I found. Firefly TV series. Wow, 2002, 18 years. Excuse me. Thank you very much, Siri, for correcting me.
And unfortunately enough, just in being so close, it was
Yeah.
canceled Thursday. And then unfortunately on Friday, we got news that Keiko Nobumoto, who was the writer for the original series as well as a lot of other really beloved
Yes.
anime,
Yep.
passed away on Friday. So it's like I don't know how much she was involved in the writing of the live action. I believe I believe they were involved, but
Yeah.
not like a head writer or anything. I
Yeah.
don't know. Like
They-
again, I know that the composer was and such. I'm not sure about the writing team.
I'm just knowing a lot of these things. I'm willing to bet they had a consultation role
Yeah,
with the
that's
actors,
probably.
and I'm willing to bet with the production team. And then once it started rolling, they were probably told, "Thank you so much for being here. We'll see you later."
Yeah,
Like,
yeah, that kind of thing happens. So yeah, that's what I've been watching, and how I've been watching it. So, Dave, do you want to dive into the Game Awards, or do you want to hit any other topics before we get there?
there's a very important topic going on, Boater. It's so important, I'm going to interrupt the Game Awards and your transition to transition to this, because PlayStation, my friends, have finally announced that in 2022, you will be able to purchase Midnight Black, Cosmic Red,
Oh, you actually wrote
Galactic
down the
Purple?
marketing colors.
Starlight Blue, and Nova Pink custom plates for your PS5. That's right, other companies that make custom plates for your PS5. Move over and hit the bricks.
Yep. After we talked about it before, after they forced D-Brand to get rid of their products earlier this year, and D-Brand was immediately like, "Here's a different one that we totally didn't have in the wings, waiting this whole time." Sony announced, I think that they've already got a couple. The black and red one is either out or will be out very shortly.
The Midnight Black and Cosmic Red will be out sooner, but the matching...
The rest will be out before the middle of next year.
Yes, the matching controllers with those as well will be
Right.
coming out.
Right.
And the only reason I wanted to interrupt with that is because D-Brand then unfortunately didn't do anything of note in response to Sony releasing it. And boy howdy was I a little bit sad when the trailer played and D-Brand so full of vim, piss, and vinegar last time, seemingly
okay.
allowing, oh, all right, I guess I'll starve then.
I guess I'll just Eeyore over here.
We'll just keep making provocative posts on a different medium.
Hey, Xbox.
But we talked all about it last week, and the Game Awards finally came to fruition.
Yeah.
And I would love to get into some of that if we have.
Yeah, let's start. Well, we'll start with who won awards. And then we'll go to what was announced. Because most of the news that came out of that was actually like what was announced. Some of the trailers, things that people are looking forward to, stuff that there's been updates on, etc. But, let's follow up from last week. Who won some of these awards?
So we'll talk about the Game of the Year winner later.
Okay.
But
Well, what were some of the ones that we talked about? Innovation and accessibility did go to Forza Horizon 5. Debut indie game, Kena Bridge of Spirits.
which I don't think either you or I picked, but I also know that
Yeah.
I picked. Near Replicant won the score soundtrack.
Nice.
So that I didn't know you
Nice.
called.
Yep.
Boo! Boo Game Awards. Hot Wheels not winning sports racing game. Boo!
That also
Boo!
went to Forza Horizon 5.
I blew up Amp Slayer's party host, and all of his friends from Australia are like, why is that guy so bad that shit about it? And Amp was just like, don't worry about it.
Let's see here. Final Fantasy 14 for community support. League of Legends for esports game. Deathloop got one for art direction. For performance, I'd have to look at like we're looking at like a different list, and it's not saying necessarily for like performance. It's not saying what games they came from. So, of course, if we'd had this list pulled up ahead of time, but no, like we said, you come here and we're just like, oh, we're doing a thing. We don't have stuff prepared.
It's
to
more
show off.
fun than natural that way. Otherwise,
It's like hanging out with us. Like if you come over to my house and we're all hanging out on the couch, and then we're like, "Oh, did you see the thing? Oh, who won that? Oh, shit!" And then everyone just has to wait while I pull it up on my phone in the one spot of my house where the Wi-Fi is spotty, and I'm like, "Hold on, just hold on. I'm bringing it up." Well, most anticipated game was
Elden Ring.
Yep. Is that what we guessed?
Yes.
That's what you guessed. I think I
Yes,
said
yes,
Horizon.
it was. Esports coaches and athletes, I kind of liked how they did it, where they announced them and they kind of showed them and they
Oh, cool.
like kind of gave you an understanding of who they were. It Takes Two won best multiplayer.
Best sim strategy game, Age of Empires 4. Interesting. Especially with Inscription on the same list. Looking for like performance and see they got like voice actor kind of things.
I do know who won that
Best
one.
mobile game, Genshin Impact. That's not a surprise. That thing's been huge this year.
Guess who won best performance? It was not Giancarlo Esposito. It wasn't Jason E. Kelly or Azoa Agata. It was Maggie Robertson for Big Lady from Resident Evil Village as Lady Demiscu.
Dimitrescu, yep.
Boy, by the way, terrifying. Seeing her stand up out of her chair at the Game Awards and then hearing the Resident Evil Village theme play as she walked to the front of the Game Awards.
Oh, God!
Absolutely.
Did she do performance capture for the character as well?
Kind of.
Because if she did like that same walk, whatever, while that was there.
She did. She
God.
saunters very similarly. It was terrifying, and she even said when she's holding the award, and she goes, I think that was the most tense walk I've ever had in my entire life. And I was like, you know what? I don't feel as bad for Big Lady winning the prize.
Hell yeah, tall lady, dude, Icarus. Best art direction we got. There's our Deathloop.
Deathloop won it, and they were very good with it. Best narrative was won by Guardians of the Galaxy.
Huh.
And that studio, those workers, everybody was pumped.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I understand because I remember we were talking about that, where it's like, man, to take an IP that already has two big fandoms and then make a third, variation on, that's tricky.
Did she have a big fancy hat?
Game direction was won by Deathloop.
Nice.
Not shocked after playing the game, to be totally honest, and we'll talk a little bit about that in a minute or two or
Yep.
some other time. Did she have a big fancy hat? She did not, which
Missed opportunity.
missed opportunity
Next
made
time.
me a little sad. Totally understood. But do we want to talk about the goat of the year?
Yeah, let's talk about Game of the Year as decided at the Game Awards.
So the nominees were Deathloop, It Takes Two, Metroid Dread, Psychonauts 2, Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart, and Resident Evil Village.
A really strong roster the whole way through.
Now, Psychonauts 2 and Ratchet and Clank really, up until that point, they'd been mentioned, the studio had been shown, they hadn't won spit. And It Takes Two won Game of the Year, so they didn't win anything pretty much for the duration of it.
Mm-hmm.
And we got into a really interesting discussion about it where, remember when Psychonauts 2 and Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart came out? Exactly. Way earlier in the release cycle.
Yeah, that's true. They were early year.
And then they didn't follow up. Like Psychonauts 3 or Psychonauts News really didn't make anything. The next Ratchet and Clank game hasn't been announced, and if it has,
and they are single release games. They come out, then here's the game. There may not even be DLC for them. They're not live service games that are going to keep staying in the news cycle the whole time. They're a game that comes out, and any award show, you see this with the Academy Awards, you see it with the Tonys, you see the more recent, there is a bias towards the more recent release.
yes.
Now,
100%.
Looking at the games, I will say that those games earlier in the release cycle, I don't think they hold up quite as much as the other games when it comes to Game of the Year competition. But I will say that for this particular niche thing, because there's so many publications that award Game of the Year, what's one more? For this particular niche application, it kind of hurt how early they came out. But I'll also say, again, with there being so many things like that. What was your Game of the Year? And it wouldn't necessarily have to be one that was nominated here. Think about it, Dave. Think about it. I would love in that week between Christmas and New Year to hold maybe just a mini Nerd Glasses award ceremony.
The Nerdies!
Yes!
I'll make a bunch of awards out of tinfoil, and we'll try to mail them to the winners. Oh God, we'll attach it. The base of it'll be an Insane Games TV card. Oh my God!
We're gonna get the FBI on our tails.
What are the categories for the Nerdies?
Oh boy, what are I mean, obviously Game of the Year. But most fun game to rag on.
Okay, I like it. Hang on, let me get a marker because if I write it in pen, it's not going to matter.
And we'll come up with snappier names for these. We'll brainstorm a lot in
No,
Discord.
I like the first thought, best thought.
My first thought was most fun to shit on, but most fun to rag on. Game of the Year, obviously.
Game of the Year. The rag on and on.
Yep. Because it's like what makes a game having to do with us and like how we're talking about it on the show and whatever.
What if we nominate a game for Too Nerdy for Nerd Glasses?
Too nerdy for nerds. There should be I feel like we should have a dishonorable this one most fun to rag on is one thing, but also just the worst game, and not necessarily the worst one from a game, but just the worst as far as being in our consciousness in the news cycle all the time. Not the worst, but just the worst kind of thing. It just got just the worst.
So the Dr.
With
Disrespect
Uptalk
Nerdy
and
Award.
I mean, it's like the Razzies kind of thing. I wrote that T upside down.
Very nice.
I didn't mean to do that. Okay.
So we have Game of the Year, rag on and on, Too Nerdy for Nerds, worst. Let's do 5.
Okay.
Do we have a fifth
need
one?
one more. Going back a bit, Dudek was saying, I'm so glad that Forza 5 took home most accessible game. Agreed. That was really cool.
You know what? And I'm kicking myself because when I was watching the Game Awards, they went into detail about why these studios were nominated for the things they did get nominated for, and I was mad at myself that I was sitting with a cat on my lap and I didn't take a notebook because I was like, damn it, like it makes sense now, and I have some clarity as to why it won and it was fine, but I was like, meh, like I remember last week I didn't know why, like
See, video game Razzies. Oh, geez, I can't even think of the worst. It's worse than Fortnite. Um, I don't know. We'll have to think about that. I can't think of a unique kind of. I mean, obviously, Game of the Year is kind of we wrote that down. And we could come up with like who our favorite performance was, our favorite soundtrack, stuff like that. We could definitely come up with that kind of thing.
ooh, an award for best live event that year on Twitch.
Okay.
Because there's been a ton of them.
Best gaming event.
Okay.
And because that could be league championships, that could be a stream, that could be that it could be someone's stream that like went viral. It could be a press release at E3, anything like that. And I think actually I do want to. Well, basically, I'm saying this so that I can yell NFTs again, but just like the the worst thing about the news cycle over the year, like just maybe we can talk about trends. We can talk about trends during the thing, but it doesn't necessarily need to be a reward.
So we'll do worst game and then we'll you know what we'll call that award? We will
What?
absolutely call that award the stuck to your shoe. The topic that just won't go
Yeah.
away.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll clean this up. We'll figure it out. We'll put together some sort of format type stuff, and nominate by all means. We'll throw this on Discord once we have a couple things together. We want the community to nominate some games.
Between next Tuesday's podcast, after we do all our Christmas tunes and everyone's feeling jolly and merry, you can then think of your Nerdies Award nominees.
I kind of want to announce the nominations next week and then the award show the week after, but we'll see. We'll see.
Yes. We will. Yes. I like it.
Yes.
Um,
Next week, look forward to some nominations. In the meantime,
Boater, we've been
Let's
soft
talk-
shoeing it and we've been saving it. We have so many trailers. And I'm so excited because there were so many good things announced at the Game Awards.
let's go back to Nerd Vision. There was a lot that was announced.
You know what I will say? That the Game Awards also get a FION for? They didn't say world premiere once the entire
come
time.
on.
Not once. Not once. Not even one.
Jeez.
The one thing they did do better this year from last year was I didn't have to see Jeff Keighley's shoes. His awful, mismatched, wearing sneakers with a suit, white Air Force
Hell's
Ones.
wrong with
Yuck.
Never mind.
Yuck, Jeff Keighley. Yuck.
So before we get into the trailers, like there was a lot. So I'll mention a few that we didn't grab the trailers for that I'm still going to keep my eye on. Homeworld 3 was announced a couple years ago, but they showed a trailer for it. I'm like, Homeworld, yes, I love its art style. I love everything about it. So I'm excited that that got another trailer. Same thing, we got a teaser for the Halo TV series.
Yeah.
That has almost nothing of meat. It has Master Chief in it. And we got a picture of someone who was Dr. Halsey. I saw a couple of warthogs and a pelican. It's going to be Halo. It's cool. It's its thing. Were there before we get into trailers and really go like that, were there other like honorable mentions that you saw during the Game Awards that were like, "Oh, that's cool," before we go into the trailers?
Nah.
All right, cool.
Nah.
What are we hitting first?
I mean, I have a few of them. So do you wanna do this one? Do that one.
This
do that
one.
one first.
Okay, this one. Beep. Dave, tell me about this one. Hold on. Nerd.
Trademark. Nerd Vision.
I'm not doing spirit fingers. I'm just stroking it.
So
I like Nerd Vision.
this was one that we already saw an announcement for this. This was just an embellishing and a build on
Hold on, I need to be a little.
the idea of our little friend Gollum, and that unfortunate journey that Gollum took before. Spoiler alert: he got dumped into the horrid, just. The man got melted in Mountain Dew. Like, it was just awful. Stupid Gollum. Stupid. You dumb. But heading to the patent offices tomorrow morning just for that nerd vision. But I look forward to playing this game. And they showed some of how you play.
So what's the game like? What genre of game is it? Like, what's it gonna play like?
To be honest, from the trailers and everything, it looks like it's going to be a third-person RPG.
Okay. Because there was that bit where he like where he dumps the cauldron or whatever, and it's like, oh, it's going to be tower defense.
Oh, God, I hope not. Oh, God. So they haven't shown gameplay yet of the game itself, but the trailers keep paring down what he's doing and what you're doing as a player.
Okay.
So that's my bet.
It could be like a very stealth kind of game where like he's probably not going to get into open combat a lot. He's got to move around.
Hell no, because he'll get picked up and thrown on the ground and die. Like
yeah, so it could be very like stealth and environment based kind of thing. That'd be really cool. I'll admit this was an odd surprise, but I'm not against it yet. Says Love Alec. First off, thank you for dropping by. Always happy to see you. And second off, yeah, like that's not something I knew I wanted, but now I'm interested. I'm keeping my eye out for it. Speaking of games where they didn't really show much in the way of gameplay, the trailer for Star Wars Eclipse was shown. Star Wars Eclipse is a game by Quantic Dream. So while they didn't show any gameplay, you basically know what kind of game it's going to be. The first time that you play a game by Quantic Dream or David Cage, it's like, ah, yes, this is a very, it's cinematic, but interactive. It's like you're playing a movie, interesting, and it's exploring human suffering and how people are just can be rotten to each other and trying to find a spot of hope in that, while also taking advantage of some of its characters in really kind of gross and uncomfortable ways. Really interesting. Then you play a second game by them, and you're like, oh, well, this uses a lot of the same mechanics and themes and such, but in a different setting. I guess it'll be interesting to see how this applies. Then you play a third game, you're like, they only know how to make one game. Okay.
So it's the telltale of.
I mean, Heavy Rain, Detroit Become Human. Like it's telling its story. It has branching narrative. And it's going to do some things that are going to stir up a lot of controversy where people are like, guys, that's kind of gross.
If you don't like a game, you're going to have to sink at least 60 hours in to see some credits. Don't buy games like these. But if you like storylines and you like being in the driver's seat of how your story is told, buy these games.
Yeah, I really enjoyed playing Heavy Rain the one time that I played it. I wouldn't go back and play it again. Not the fault of the game necessarily, but it was a really long movie that I watched with Steph that I affected the outcome of. Which is fine. Yeah, again, I had the controller in my hand, she was playing along, whatever. Detroit Become Human, I have not played, but I've seen some gameplay of, seems kind of similar. And again, it's always like there's one or two scenes that are like, this crossed the line, I think. Like, it's one thing to make you a little uncomfortable while you're doing it, but like this is just being absolutely rotten to this person in a way that makes some marginalized people very, very, very uncomfortable.
So yeah, I totally relate, and I did play Detroit Become Human, and I love that game. But I also love that game because Mr. Krabs voices a character in it, and I spent the entire time going, Mr. Krabs, Mr. Krabs!
So I'm like, okay, it's a Star Wars game. Oh, the other thing, too, is that, like, I'm glad that we're getting more Star Wars games and different Star Wars games, as opposed to when EA had the exclusive license, and then they kind of did a doo-doo in Battlefront 2, and Disney was like, other people can develop Star Wars games now. And so we're seeing more than one game every 3 or 4 years. We're seeing multiple Star Wars games, so I like that too. I think I'm probably going to give this one a try, while kind of being like, when's it going to go bad? I don't know. We'll see. But even if it's not my cup of tea, that's fine. There's more Star Wars games coming out. So That's where I'm at with Star Wars Eclipse. Looks gorgeous. And I really like the logo. Dave, what's next?
Okay, so this was a game that I have never seen before and have no link to, but the trailer. Oh boy, have you seen the trailer for this?
I haven't.
All right, we're gonna bigly size Nerd Vision,
Okay.
and I want you to react to it as you see it, because ooh,
Chose horror as the genre for Silent Hill was released to the world. Keep
Mm.
in mind that I'm seeing maybe 10 seconds behind you guys.
Yep.
Founded Boca Game Studio. Turns out it's a Kojima game.
And he's walking along. Oh, look at that! Creative director of Silent Hill.
Okay, okay.
Ooh, what's going on here? Some sort of storyline. Oh no! Ooh! Yes! This moment right there, when we're watching the trailer, where I was like, I'm in! I'm in! Whatever it is, I'm in!
I don't like it.
It reminds me so much of Dead Space. Sold. Absolutely sold. It looks like there's some sort of magical powers going on with the weapons.
I don't like it.
Love Alex saying, I don't like it. John showed me the trailer for this nonsense, and no thank you. I absolutely will buy this game. I'm going to crap my pants playing it, but I'm absolutely going to get this game and play it when it comes out.
That's a game that, like...
And look, uh-oh.
no.
Ah, it's a regular looking person all of a sudden.
So in other words, Dave, the two of us are going to have to play that together in a
Probably.
room somewhere.
Probably, and that's totally
We
okay.
still haven't finished Bendy and the Ink Machine.
And you know what, though?
What?
Slitherhead looks really awesome, and I really look forward to it, because not only did it have all the makings of me getting to put a tinfoil hat and scream about how Kojima's making the next Silent Hill games, but guess who else was at the Game Awards, buddy?
Norman Reedus.
No, actually. He wasn't there, suspiciously, but you know who else was?
Cliff Bleszinski.
I don't care about Cliff. I didn't check was he there or not. It's not the person you're thinking of, because Kojima did make an appearance, and he announced that he'll have things to talk about at the next Game Awards next year. So, next year, Kojima, But, you know who else did appear?
Bobby Kotick.
Guillermo... Hell no, Bobby Kotick didn't appear. Guillermo del Toro appeared,
all right.
and
I
offhanded...
was like, how long can I just keep coming up with names?
And he offhanded... Well, I want you to be able to start Citadel on time-ish. And we're going to get out of Nerd Vision for just a second. Because I have one more trailer to talk about, but Guillermo del Toro appeared to advertise a film that's coming out soon, and I'm really excited for the film.
Okay.
But what I was more excited about was Del Toro just unabashedly goes, yeah, I've been attached to a lot of video game projects recently. He goes, but man, I wonder when we're getting another Silent Hill game. Maybe soon. And then went to the next thing, and so even worse. Exactly. They're teasing us about it at the Game Awards. They absolutely trolled everybody with that and having him say it. It was by far the Nerd Glasses moment of the Game Awards, was Del Toro just offhandedly mentioning, boy, howdy, I hope someone else makes a Silent Hill game. Like, it was so good. It was so good. So I look forward to hearing more from Mr. Del Toro.
Speaking of Kojima and Silent Hill, is that conspiracy baseball behind you, Dave?
Oh! Is it time for conspiracy baseball?
Why did you take the bait?
Oh!
I still love you.
Oh, I'm so happy you mentioned that conspiracy baseball is here. And what's that? No. No.
I'm not looking.
Conspiracy Baseball has Kojima news. Oh, glad
Hooray.
tidings for everyone.
Lay it
Oh,
on me, Conspiracy Baseball.
ah, 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 Can I interest you in a nerd glasses tinfoil hat?
That was bait.
Can I interest you in a nerd glasses tinfoil hat, sir? All right, yes, excellent. We'll return to more of the Game Awards and things next. I have one more trailer to show, but Conspiracy Baseball brought me some very interesting news, ladies and gentlemen, and that is that Kojima Studios purchased a headquarters in Los Angeles. Boda, did you know that?
I do now.
You know who does things in Los Angeles? That's right, Boda! The movies! Which means Kojima's making movies! He was talking about...
I mean, wasn't the last Metal Gear game just basically a movie that
It
sometimes
was.
you push buttons?
It absolutely was. But, excitingly so, Kojima
Sorry,
was...
hold on, I have a conspiracy hat on. Wait! Wasn't the last Metal Gear game actually just a movie anyway?
You're right, Boda! Wah! And so Kojima tweeted that he was revising some scripts, going into some experimentations, and then he posted a photo. And you know whose rear end was suspiciously evident in that picture?
Guillermo del Toro's.
No! Because that would have been quite newsworthy. That's a big rear end, Guillermo del Toro's. No. It was the backside of one...
I thought you were about to say the backside of water. What is this, Jungle Cruise?
The backside of one Norman Reedus working with Guillermo del Toro and Kojima. Silent Hills game confirmed, baby! Woo! That's all the story Conspiracy Baseball has for us this week. Conspiracy Baseball, you did so good.
Thank you.
You did so good,
Thank you,
Conspiracy
Conspiracy
Baseball.
Thank you, Steph, for falling for the bait.
I appreciate you all, because if you ever see Conspiracy Baseball on the set, make sure you call your shot and say, is that Conspiracy Baseball on the set? Because Conspiracy Baseball's always got stories for us, but he's afraid to talk. He doesn't want to interrupt the programs, things like that.
Dave, can we show the last trailer already?
I'm so excited to show the last trailer because, Boder, there's something that I'm a very big fan of. Being enthusiastic, having coffee in the afternoon, yes and yes. But, there was one announcement, and one of my best friends in the whole world came out on the Game Awards, and I literally had to change my pants. I was so excited. Play the trailer, Boder. Play the trailer.
Dave, are you seizing? Are you okay?
Maybe a little bit, maybe a lot. But this trailer played, and I absolutely lost my meat and potatoes. I did. I screamed, because right here is right where I knew what it was.
Okay. Sorry, I've never heard that before.
So no. At this point, no one has guessed what it is in the chat that I'm hanging out with, watching the Game Awards. And so I already know I'm already losing my absolute. I'm absolutely. The shirt has come off. I'm running around the apartment.
He's found a big foam finger to swing around.
And then the reveal. Look who it is.
Oh man. For those of us that didn't play the game, I love that your reaction is 5 seconds behind.
Yes! God! I deserve this! I've been a very good boy! Because then Sam Lake came out and he talked about, he's like, listen, he goes, we have this trailer. He goes, and you're not going to hear from us for a year, but next year at the Game Awards, we'll have more. So fucking excited. Remedy Studios is going to be back. He did tip the hat, saying this is going to be more horror-oriented than action-oriented.
Okay.
And I'm excited because it means that Old Scratch, his alternate personality from previous Alan Wake games, is going to be a bigger part, which is why they did that flash of him.
Okay. Keep in mind, Dave, I never finished Alan Wake. I started playing it the one time with you.
Yes. So,
So you
Old
need to
Scratch.
sit my ass down and we need to finish it. We have
Old
a lot of
Scratch
gaming ahead of us.
really doesn't appear until Alan Wake American Nightmare,
Okay.
a spin-off game that really did play as just an expansion of. But oh my god! Oh my god! I absolutely cannot wait for that game, and I'm gonna buy the deluxest edition that they possibly have of it, because I must. I fanboyed so hardcore about that. Um,
Looks
ah,
quite wet, says Mr. Wet.
ah,
We have a verdict. It does look quite wet.
ah. I'm sorry about the yelling, but
That's fine. I mean, you
oh,
lose your meat and potatoes over whatever makes you lose them.
I did. I lost my cabbages. I absolutely was screaming, my cabbages! Like, I could not. I could not, voter. I could not lose my cabbages. My cabbage cart, the whole business. Um, but the Game Awards were so good. Um, You know what's even more unfortunate? Out of all of our excitement and all of our rigmarole, we don't have time to talk about anything else tonight. So we'll talk about Death Loop and Death Stranding next week on the program. We'll validate people's parking. We'll get things done. But Boater,
Yeah, and that's like something that we're looking at is instead of trying to cover a bunch of news topics, just picking one or two things and really just going into it in depth. I'm really enjoying this. And if you guys are too, let us know right here in chat. Let us know in Discord. Because whenever we play around with a format like this, if you want to hear us talk about a dozen different news stories, fine. I'm kind of liking this. Pick one or two things and just really go in depth as to what it means for us
yeah,
and such like that. So, do want to hear it. Woo, I'm not late to Citadel yet, says more
not
like rigor
yet.
mortis.
Not yet. You have time to go to the bathroom, grab some popcorn.
Because when it comes back, when we go offline here, 15 minutes later, after we move everything over into the countdown, I will be playing more Hawks. Tom Clancy's Hawks, the flight sim, went really well last time I played it, which was, I don't know, a month ago. And now that we've had our "Are we the baddies" moment, then we're gonna keep going. So that is on the Citadel immediately following here. Means
What else can I help you with?
I guess all that's left to do then, Bobby, is to sign off. Because we'll talk more about topics next week. Let us know things that you see, but also if we do make that shift away from covering a lot of news, just gaming news that you find, drop it in the Discord. And we can always talk about it there. So, love to hear it. Love to hear from you guys. In the meantime, folks, that is it for the Nerd Glasses podcast tonight. I had a great time. Conspiracy Baseball had a great time. Dave had a great time, and I had a great time with Nerd Vision. Hey.
Trademark. Thank you. So remember, folks, the gimmicks we've now added. If you see Conspiracy Baseball on the set, and I'm not like holding him and Boater's not holding him, make sure to mention it in chat because Conspiracy Baseball's got a story, and we want you. Conspiracy Baseball needs your help to get that Kojima
Get
or
the word
otherwise
out.
news out there. But next week we'll be doing some tricks from a hat
Hat trick topics.
trick topics. It'll be
and
Christmas songs lampooned in the form of video games and
Yes.
things.
And we will be announcing the nominees for the Nerdies, the Nerd Glasses awards show that we will have the following week. So make sure that you tune in for that. In the meantime, everyone, I've been Boater,
I've been Dave Man.
and we'll see you next time. Bye, everybody.